Shalom, family. It's good to see you all. Y'all remember the live I did on the woman that was declaring war on FBA because of the boycott coming on August 1st? You know that woman is in New Jersey. She works at an oral dentist office in Vineland, New Jersey. Now, they got the name of the oral surgeon, and I think they think that's her, but I don't think it's her. Um, the doctor's first name is it's an oral surgeon office. His first name is Jose. His last name is Kumba. And I think they think she is Kumba. I don't think she is. I think that's the name of the oral surgeon that she works under, but I don't think that's her. So it's Vineland, New Jersey. So they were able to pinpoint where she works, and folks are saying they're going to be notifying that office about her video and sending that video to them. And and that's the most dangerous part, y'all. These folks are working in the medical field. That makes them extremely dangerous. And the way she was talking, she wants to cause harm to our people. And she was very open when she said it. So, no, yeah, she must be stopped as far as I'm concerned. I don't have no concern about her losing her job. She need to be deported out of the country. You made terroristic threats online. So, I'm glad people were able to pinpoint where she is. Um, but I think they just got the name wrong. That's the only thing I am concerned about. They don't have the right name, but even if they don't, if they send the video by email to somebody in that office, they should be able to identify her if she really truly does work there. And I believe she does. So we shall see if there's any updates on that. I will definitely let you know, my ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, when it comes down to our folks online, we really truly are detectives online. Nobody does it like we do. So, y'all, we're going to talk about Donald Trump's recent trip to Scotland. And we know why Donald Trump left the country because of all the Jeffrey Epstein things that were coming out. And they were going to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell about testifying before Congress. And I know they're trying to get to her before the testimony to see if they could probably influence her to not incriminate Donald Trump. I know what that visit is all about. We all do. So he's running away from everything that's going on here, and he went to Scotland, and the people turned out in Scotland, making it very clear they don't want Donald Trump in their country. They had rallies and, different locations in the country in protest of Donald Trump being there. So we're going to watch a little bit of that. All right. And I'm sorry about the delay. I was dropping off orders at the UPS store nearby. So, and unfortunately, there was an accident on my way back. So that caused my delay. But hey, I'm here. I'm here. Okay. Let me, okay, let me share my screen and then we'll get started. Okay. Give me a one if you can see my screen. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Thank you.
Hundreds of people have descended onto the streets of Edinburgh to protest the arrival of Donald Trump onto Scottish soil. We've had talk from the Scottish Greens and we've had people from Palestine speaking, and I also spoke to a few of the activists about why they came down today.
The UK can ask itself, do we want to continue a special relationship with a country led by this man and with this man himself, or do we want to seriously think hard about our foreign policy and what kinds of alliances we want?
What brought you out to the streets of Edinburgh today?
An opportunity to speak up against Trump.
And where is it you're from, just by the accent?
I'm from Texas.
Okay. So were you in Edinburgh anyway? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. And so what is the message? Like, is it heartwarming to see that there's so many people in Scotland that have come out today to, show their opposition to Donald Trump?
Well, it's depressing that we have to do this, but it's great to see that people are willing to speak up and, feel that what he's doing is wrong.
And I just can't sit at home and do nothing about it. I mean, we have a responsibility as people with privilege to stand out here and fight for the rights of others as well as our own.
It's always wonderful to come to a demonstration. We got the bus in from Portobello where we live, and about half people on the bus were also coming to the demo, and they saw our placards and our kids with their placards, and they were like, hey. And it's always very cheering when you feel, we all watch this genocide unfolding on our phones every day, and it feels very lonely sometimes. And coming together with other people and just saying, lots of us care about this is really heartwarming, and it's quite moving.
Trump is not welcome. There are so many reasons why he's not welcome, and it's amazing to see the diversity of the signs here, all the different reasons we have to say we don't want him here. There is obviously his attack on equality and rights, rolling back hard-won rights for women, for queer people, for people of colour that have taken decades to win with the stroke of a pen. He's destroyed them all. And after this, I'd encourage you all to join me going down to the Solidarity Salon at the Scottish Parliament, organised by the Campaign Against the Hate Speech, Resisting Transphobia. There's obviously his environmental destruction. I think we all expected this. We expected that he would let fossil fuels go unfettered. We expected he would withdraw from treaties. I'm not sure even I expected the latest news that he's seeking to have the very concept that carbon dioxide is bad for humans overturned. I mean, this is storybook villain stuff, and it would be laughable if it wasn't so terrifying. And of course, we've heard about Palestine, the plans for Trump Riviera, the complete failure to do anything about the mass starvation we are seeing. Everyone's joining a chant of free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! We're seeing people snatched from the streets. We're seeing people disappear from lists. Families not knowing where they are. Lawyers not knowing where they are. This is when, in living memory, we thought that the USA had atoned for its memories of Japanese internment, and we are seeing exactly the same happen again. We're now seeing the latest moves that will add to that list of anyone who isn't white, essentially, people with mental health problems, homeless people, trans people, people of a different race, homeless people, people with mental health problems, being locked up with no access. Where have we heard this before? Any attempts to meet with Donald Trump is nothing short of appeasement. And we need to call this out. Meeting with a fascist behind closed doors is appeasement. What we know is happening, we need to call it out, we need to know what happens in that meeting, and we need to say when the state visit happens later station. Now, didn't seem to do much. There is no way we can be offering him any hospitality when he comes back. To keep calling out this fascism, we need to keep holding our government, our politicians to account. We need to say Trump's a cunt. We need to say fuck fascism. And we need to say we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
We welcome this invitation from Stop Trump campaign to speak in a united way with so many other people here. We want to support this demonstration because we share so many of its aims. Like everyone, we're appalled at the behavior of President Trump on so many levels. His attacks on women, his attacks on abortion rights, His attacks on federal civil servants who he sacked in the thousands. His attacks on the environmental organizations and the environmental network that, limited as it was, the federal government had set up. So in that sense, he's not only a climate denier, he acts on what he says. And when he's a racist, he acts on that. So the mass deportations are happening in Los Angeles and other places throughout the United States are basically a racist attack. He wants to divide citizens in America. He wants
The Scottish government has bended the knee and kissed the ring. This is a protection.
Donald Trump is being protested all across Scotland right now. It's where Donald Trump is spending our taxpayer dollars here in the United States and costing the people of Scotland millions of dollars in their taxpayer dollars. You saw there a protest in Edinburgh. There's also protests in Aberdeen and in cities and communities across Scotland right there. This is what Donald Trump is doing right now. He is golfing. You can see him right there at his golf course, promoting his golf course, enriching himself personally. Let me bring you into Aberdeen right here, where there was another protest taking place. Let me show you this, where the speaker says, "As for Mr. Trump, we could smell your stench the moment that you landed." Here, play this clip.
As for Mr. Trump, all I would say is, I could smell the stink right here in Aberdeen when you landed in Prestwick.
That's a good welcome right there from Scotland. That's how you have to treat this sexual predator, this felon, this vile human trash who is destroying the world. Zero respect is what he deserves. This is how he acts. This is what he was posting while he was in Scotland. Photographs of former President Barack Obama, or like images of Obama's face imposed in a Ford Bronco. I mean, like racist imagery right here as well of like Obama being chased by police vehicles. I think this is trying to imitate the O.J. Simpson car chase or something like that. I mean, just what the hell are you doing? I mean, dude, act like a freaking adult. Who behaves like this, yet alone the president of the United States? Here he is promoting his golf courses, again, using his official account. The great Gary Player, Turnberry, is without a question one of the top 5 greatest golf courses I've ever played in my 73 years as a pro. Thank you, Gary. And then he goes, in Scotland right now. Many meetings planned. You know, one of the things that Donald Trump also has been posting about now today is he goes, "I've just spoken to the acting prime minister of Thailand, and it was a very good conversation. Thailand, like Cambodia, wants to have an immediate ceasefire and peace. I'm now going to relay that message back to the prime minister of Cambodia." After
of Gaza, we say no to the genocide of Palestine, and we say no to any politician who says that their politics has to be built on hate, has to be built on division, and has to be built on enriching the billionaires while the vast majority of the rest of the world starve. Not in our name. Never in our name. So that is why we are here today. We are here to say
Those in his own country who speak out and attacking US institutions who dared to facilitate peaceful protest, conspiring with the Israeli government to starve hundreds of thousands before.
Donald Trump, you can't hide!
You're committing genocide!
Donald Trump,
You can't hide!
You're committing genocide! Donald Trump,
You can't hide!
you're committing genocide! Democracy are a policy, our lives, our dreams that we strive to achieve and protect. But the rich and the oligarch, the rapists, the misogynists, the pedophiles in Washington and in the White House, in the Oval Office, who landed in Aberdeen, does not listen or follow any order. He's a thug. He's a racist. Donald Trump, you can't hide.
You're committing genocide!
Donald Trump!
You can't hide!
You're committing genocide! Donald Trump!
You can't hide!
You're committing genocide! The sound of the
Y'all, so this is what Donald Trump met when he landed in Scotland. They said the people were already lined up in the streets waiting for him to go over to his golf course. And somebody had put a sign in front of his golf course over there calling him pretty much a Nazi. So those people were not very welcoming of Donald Trump. And we know how overly sensitive he is. You know, he didn't like all that stuff. You know, this is what he was trying to escape. And you know, it's really sad. Wherever your president goes, he gets picketed. Everywhere he goes, he gets picketed. He gets heckled, and people don't want him around. And it just goes to show you Donald Trump does not have, because Donald Trump is the president, this country don't have the respect in the world, you know? But before he even took office, if you go back, I think it was Ireland and Scotland, they were already dragging the US for electing a felon. And they were calling him a thug. And that was all right after the actual election. And I remember watching that online. I was like, wow, he didn't even take office yet. And they were dragging him already. So as you can see, America don't look good in the face of the earth anymore. Used to, you know, but at this point, I can't even say these nations even fear America. They don't fear America at all. If anything, they're out there clowning this country out big time. So not surprised. And I think this is going to get even worse, especially if Ghislaine Maxwell testify. Now, I don't know how she's going to testify, but I think the fact that Donald Trump's DOJ ran up to that prison prior to her August testimony says a lot, because I'm still hearing rumblings about he may pardon her. So that sounds like if she testifies the way Donald Trump wants her to, he will pardon her, you know? So you know that's what they're doing. They're probably trying to work out a deal where she won't reveal too much of nothing as far as Jeffrey Epstein list. That's what Donald Trump is concerned about. He doesn't want that spoken. So whether it will happen or not, that's a whole different deal. But they said she's afraid for her life. And she's afraid that what happened to Jeffrey Epstein could possibly happen to her. And she's another one that don't believe he committed suicide. She doesn't believe that. So we shall see. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a black eye for you MAGAs. And these folks, they're just as white as you are. They can't stand the fact and the idea of Donald Trump being in their country. Yeah. I mean, I've seen each president get picketed, but I think Donald Trump by far is the worst I have ever seen. Since he's been in office, we have seen those rallies out in the street. We have seen, you know, a lot of people very unhappy that he is even sitting in the presidency. There's just so many videos out there. I can tell you more negative videos than positive. There are still, you know, diehards. You always going to have that, but you know, the negative videos definitely outnumber the diehards that are out there. Mhm. Mm-mm-mm. PM, thank you so much for your super chat, B1 and Shalom family. Stay on alert. Keep your prayers and keep your head on the swivel as these devils are seeing their final days. Thank you, Lisa. Yes. And thank you for your support for my channel. And y'all, please keep your prayers up for Miss Skilled Gamer. She is going through some really tough times right now. Her mother is not doing too well. She's had, I believe, 2 strokes in a short period of time. So please keep her in your prayers. You know, she really needs the strength right now. So I hope that, you know, things will turn around for her mother and she can return back here, because I believe she is her mother's caretaker. And I certainly know what that feels like, because I was my mother's caretaker. And that can really wear you out, not only physically, but emotionally too. So please keep her in your prayers, ladies and gentlemen. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Now, I do have 2 more live streams coming up. I'm going to be talking about the all white only town that is happening in Arkansas in the Ozarks. We'll be talking about that, as well as there are new videos of people saying they can't afford to live at all. You know, their lives are falling apart and they don't have money. And some of these people were making 6 figures and they still can't make it on that. So life is definitely, yeah, on a downward spiral here in America for a lot of people, y'all. A lot of people. And, you know, I'm going to dig up that story. Many of you might remember, it must be several years ago, there were some melanated people that bought some land in Georgia and they were going to start a town. And boy, these white folks were online having a meltdown. Oh, that's divisive. A all black town. I said, you see, when we do it, it's wrong. When they do it, those same people, they're not going to say a word. But I'm going to dig up that story. Some of y'all might remember that. They had bought some land, I believe it was in Georgia, and they were going to start a big old melanated community with businesses and everything. And they were threatened, the white people were threatening to sue if they couldn't get property in this black town that they were starting. And I said, you see how they show their ass when our people want to start a town, but when they start towns and want to exclusively be just them, you notice nobody is whining and complaining about that. Very few people are saying anything about it. The double standards are something else. So y'all, I will see you then. That is at 4:45, and I hope to see you all then. Shalom, family.